feel like in order to keep doing these coding puzzles every single day, I need to have a working CLI that allows me to submit answers via my terminal, get the code via the terminal. Interfacing with the web browser is just not ideal. Um, I've previously used Apex Atoll, AOC CLI. Unfortunately, that one is discontinued, and I can't blame him. I mean, this is a super niche community. Nobody really cares about this. Uh, and there's only like 50 stars. So why spend your own free time to build a piece of software for such a niche purpose? I think if I need something like this, I should build it myself. Um, as you can see, he has the main feature being a markdown view of all of the puzzle text and all of the calendars. So I do want to emulate that. But for now, the most important part is to download the input and to submit any answers. And I think that should be pretty straightforward. In order to get there, I will sign out and create a new temporary account so that the oh, I will have to create a GitHub account for this. That's interesting. So that the token that you guys see is not going to be my own, and there's no security concerns with this. Um, I'll just use I think there's tempmail.org, my preferred temporary mail hoster, to create a new GitHub account here. Uh, maybe tempmail.org instead. Maybe we do 10-minute mail instead. I don't really think GitHub is going to have extensive filter lists for these hosters. Let's just turn this into our password as well, and also into our username. Feel free to hijack this account once we're done building this. Two identical objects. I've seen a lot of these new style captchas recently. I wonder who's providing these. Um, Very annoying, extremely annoying. But I guess it makes sense because I am using a spam mail service here. That is a very long code, and here we have it. Okay, and we should be good to go. Wow, they have really stepped up their sign-up process. I did not expect that. Okay. I think I should be able to sign in now. Maybe not. I really hope we are. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, now that we've got this out of the way, we should be able to submit our answers. Um, and this is exactly what I want to get to here. So let's inspect the network tab and what happens. Is this gonna preserve the log? Okay, perfect. So if I put in 1, 2, 3 and I submit, that's pretty much the only thing we actually need. Does it say that's not the right answer? Oh, yes, it does. Okay. So this one, we copy it as a curl, and this will be the main answer request that our script has to do. So I've already created a new project here called AOC CLI, and I think I will need to create a new actual repository in my main GitHub account. So now I have this one I need to sign in to. So let's see. Let's just call it AOC for now because we don't have that one yet. It will be public. We don't need a git ignore or readme. We're going to do that in code. And we're going to init this repository here. Git, I think it's called remote at origin. And then we will do a main.py hello world init. And now we need to do git push origin main. Perfect. Now we're good to go. And I will create a temporary file called curl.txt where we will save this thing. Now this is going to be the session cookie that we get from the user as input somehow. And the rest is going to stay the same. Now, I actually do want to use curl for this because I hate having any dependencies or a huge piece of software. This CLI should not take up more than 100 kilobytes on your machine because it's super, super simple. And I think if we write a script that's just able to call curl, then we can do this with a program that you have pre-installed on your Mac anyway. So what I will do for that is to Google Python execute shell command because we do have to get the output of it. I have done this before, but it's been a while, so I'm just going to look it up. Why is it called communicate? Yeah, I'm not going to install anything. That's exactly the point of this. Let's see if this works. Yes, so I did have a typo here, but it will also have to be Python 3. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Seems to work. So we just have to do a decode on this. Oh, why is it a tuple? I guess we just need the first variable of this. And then it should just be a normal string. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Okay. So what this means is that we can execute curl, just like we did here, and then print out the result. I'm going to write a simple method for this. It's going to be called curl endpoint. And then we have data, cookie, and that should be it. We don't need a refer header, so we can just remove this one. I'm pretty sure it's still gonna give the same output. So we will have a string that comes out of this. It will be a very long command, so why not turn it into a multi-line string? And indent this one a little bit. So here we have the path endpoint. Ah, yes. We're going to work with format strings here. I guess the method could be all the way at the end because I do expect it to be um, post most of the time. Method. Then we have we don't really want gzipped encoding as the response. That's going to make everything more complicated. I do wonder if the application stuff. Well, first of all, I am curious if the escaping of the new line here at the end of every line is going to be an issue. I will test that hypothesis by doing a print of a escaped new line character. A, B. Okay, it's A, B, so it's completely ignored, which is perfect. That's what we want to have here. And then, of course, the cookie is the cookie parameter. But I'm still wondering about the whole content type application form encoded. Why don't we do another parameter here and we call it edit header, and edit header is equal to the string if method is equal to or is unequal to get, else it's just empty. Cool. The only thing that's missing is to get the host and the cookie parameter and the data parameter out. Okay, I guess there's a few things still missing. So these we're going to call host. So after edit header, and I actually have to switch these two. We have host. Host is going to be endpoint split //1 split /0. And we need the cookie, which is another string. And then we're going to have the data. Okay. So now the way we would call this, well, okay. Now we have P, what we have to return is this. Okay, that's pretty cool. I think now we should be able to do something like print curl https example.com, and then we do data can just be empty, cookie can just be empty, and the method will be get. Let's see how that's gonna come out. Invalid continuation byte. Well, let's print this, huh? Why can you not decode the UTF-8? Wow. I guess we don't want any of this encoding, huh? Yeah, this looks better. Cool. I think we don't need this anymore. And now we're able to get the result. I think we do have to send std error to subprocess.def null so that we don't get this progress anymore, but that didn't seem to have worked. Why is that? Oh, yeah, that's extremely smart what I just said there. Awesome. We can now do web requests in Python without installing any additional code except for curl on our machine, which is a great success in my book. I think what's next is to write a system to store the year and day in these meta files that we know from the other AOC CLI that I've been using. Um, I, I do think I need a break for just 1 minute. I will be right back. 1 second. I'm gonna write a empty scene. Okay. Um, I shall be right back. My microphone was muted. I think it should be back now. Okay. So I was saying we want to have the same meta files in the directory for that kind of stuff. Um, so I guess we should have a config, which has a um, it has a year, it has a directory type, it has a day. I think that's all we need. We have year, day, it's optional, and we have a directory type. So self directory type, let's just do it like this. Self dot equals this current. Okay. And what we want to do is to read this from the current directory. So we'll write a method called read config. And what it's going to do is to try to open. I think there's like a file exists. Is it not called OS file exists? Path exists. Got it. With open meta as file text or lines rather equals file read. Actually, I want to do read and then split lines because I really like this function and it removes the ends. So what we will do is take a look at this file format, the meta file, put this kind of stuff in here. Nope, could put this kind of stuff in here. What we want to do is just create a dictionary, splitting all of this by like this arrow character. I guess it's Ruby code. We're using a Ruby file format in Python, which is kind of weird, but who gives a damn? Do we want to do the part as well? I don't think we need that. I think if I take a look at the curl, I'm just submitting an answer. Oh no, it does actually submit a level and an answer. So we do have to do the part as well. So the user, who gives a damn, we have only one user for now. We have dear year day part. So dear year day part. I guess if day is none, then part is also none. So this should also be optional. Cool. So now we do 4 line in lines. We have a dict, which is, we shouldn't call it dict. We have like a map. No, we also shouldn't call it map. We have an options dict, which is an empty dict. For line and lines, we have key and value equals line split this fancy character. Options key equals value. And now all we want to do is return a config. So we have either day or something else. I guess it's not called something else, it's called root. Okay, so we have either root or day. We return a new config with directory type equal to options dir. let's split this, huh? Yeah, that's exactly what I didn't want to do. Dear. Then we have year, which is options year. Then we have day. Um, except this time we're going to do get day, and then the default is none. And the same is true for the part. Awesome. What's next? Well, else we just return none. I guess what we could do is to put this in a try catch in case the meta file is kind of fucked up. Why not? Why not? And we don't really have to put the if there if we're going to catch the exception anyway. So let's just indent all of this a little bit. Okay. So now we get the config. We will have to write the config at some point, but not right now. So now I should be able to write a submit method. All that's going to do is call curl with the config that we're reading from the meta file. So if we say submit answer, then we will call curl. Okay, well, first off, config equals get config, which I just named read config 1 minute ago. If config is none, return print no meta file present. Aha. And now what I really want to do is to get the cookie, the session. This is something that I want to handle differently to how the other CLI has done it, because I really don't like their multi-user config system. I think it's too much. What I do want to do is to store it in the directory that we're currently in, and also automatically add it to any git ignore that we might be able to find in this like folder path. So that should be pretty simple. All we have to do is go up the directory tree until we find the file that's going to be called .aoc.cookie.secret or whatever. So the user doesn't really see it. It's not part of Git. It's like should be all good. Um, I really like this meta file format. I think it's a good idea. I mean, the arrows are whatever, but um, I want to use it for storing the cookie as well. I guess we will need OS later, so I'm going to leave the import there. I know it's complaining that I should remove it. So how do we do this? I feel like we should write a main method, def main, print hi, and then we do the very Python-esque thing to say if name equals main. And in this case, we will call the main method. I don't expect this to ever be imported from somewhere, but better safe than sorry. Okay. So next up, do I have a formatter installed here? I don't think I have a formatter installed, right? Ooh, that's bad. Well, I know I said I want to work with the system resources, but I think having a formatter here is going to be beneficial for the coding work. So what I will do is create a new pyenv in this folder. and install black. And in my opinion, this should be enough for VS Code to find the formatter. And if I now save this file, I guess I have to tell it to use black. Warning, black is not installed. Well, I heavily disagree, my friend. Well, which Python version are you using? This one? Is it now formatting or not? Ugh, you gotta do everything on your own, huh? Okay, it is now formatting. So that's better. I just said we want to read the cookie. So let's just store the cookie in a global um, config because it's not never going to really change for one instance of the script that's running. So let's assume it's always there whenever we run any command so that we can use it wherever. I guess we could do it for I guess we could do it for the entire config, huh? Well. Why don't we do that? I think that's a good idea. Um, the only question is, how do we store it? I guess what we could do is to have like a shared equals config and to all of these into optionals. Config is not defined, huh? Yeah, I heavily disagree. Oh, shared config equals config. This is probably an anti-pattern, but I will do it anyway because nobody can tell me anything else. Okay. So how about we return the shared config, and before that, what we will do is to go into all of these. We don't need the commas anymore. We should unindent this and say shared config dot whatever, and then just store the values there. And then all that's left is to say the cookie is also none. And now we can just put it wherever. And now we will put the print here so that we can have more than one message. And do the propagation that I just said. So what I want to do is to get the current working directory and count the number of slashes so that we know how far back we want to look for the AOC session file that we want to read from, which sounds really stupid, and I think it is, and I will do it anyway. So we have OS pwd path work dir python get current directory. Of course, it's called get cwd. So work dir is this, and then we do count slashes depth equals this. Um, search path equals dot slash while depth greater than minus 1 greater or equals 0. And no, wait, okay. While not OS path exists, search path plus, I guess we should really store these file names somewhere consistently. So dot meta, we should call the config file. And the config file is equal to dot meta. And then we have the session file, which will be called AOC secret. And this session file is the one we're looking for right now. Plus session file depth is equal to 1. If depth smaller than 0, return none and print no config file present. Now the real question is, if we, let's say we're in the root directory. I mean, there's always a slash in the root directory. So I guess with this smaller than 0, there's even one more added layer of security. Okay. So what we will do now is to add dot dot slash to the search path. And I think we're golden now. So this will really find this file anywhere in the path. So search path now is this, or I guess session path with open session file as file. The question is, how do we make sure that the whole git ignore thing works out? I mean, let's do that when we're storing the file, shall we? I think now we're just reading it. Open session path as file, lines equal split lines. I guess we just need the first and just say this is now shared config.cookie. There we go. What's your problem? What? Cannot assign member cookie for type config. Expression of type string cannot be assigned to member cookie. Okay. Well, how about you're wrong? Oh, I'm not a huge fan of all these like Python class member type annotations because I always forget how they work. And I want to make this backwards compatible, so this is a bit of a problem. I guess nobody's ever really using Python 2 anymore, and type annotation came with Python 3 out of the box. But if I could make this work with a comment, that would still kind of be nice. Cookie. Yeah, I guess this is working. Type. Yes, sure. Yeah. Okay, so let's do it this way. Um, are there optionals? Yes, there is. But I do have to, from typing import optional. Yeah, let's not worry about it for now. I think typing should be available in most places, and I guess I can do try catch except, of course, pass. Okay, I think this is I'm fine with this because this is really an optional thing. Okay, all of these are optionals, but not all of them are strings because the year should be a number, the day should be a number, and by number I mean int. The part should be an int, and this is a string. So now we have the cookie, we have all of the stuff. So now we are able to submit an answer. This will already have printed the error, so we can just return. I guess we don't really have to return the config. We can just say true or false. And then here we just say if not reconfig return. Cool. Now let's just submit an answer. What we have to do here is to do a curl of this path here, which is advent of code slash day slash answer with a post method. And for this, we will put two ints into the string, which are config dot year and shared config dot day with a parenthesis around it. What's next is the data, which will be level number something, and the answer string. Now the real $1,000,000 question is, how do we get the part? I guess it will be part one first, and then when you solve the first part, it will be two, and then once you're completely done with it, it will be part three. Um, which is kind of wild. Oh, is the stream still going? Spanish. No, I'm not speaking Spanish. Did I ever update the info? I think I did. Okay. Just checking if the stream works. Um, of course, this is way more for the VOD than it is for the stream. It's actually pretty nice that I'm able to show the cookie and not know that nobody's going to see it until the stream is complete. Okay, data. I just said we need to use the number that's in the part and then increment the part by one if it was successful. So let's, I guess we can really create these endpoint data cookie. Let's create these beforehand because it makes it a lot easier. Endpoint will be this. Why is there a new line here? Nobody knows. Data will be in my clipboard with a digit and a string put in place. We have shared config dot part, and we have our answer. let's just put a string wrapper around it because nobody knows what's going to come in here. And the cookie will be the shared config cookie. I think that's all. Now we're able to submit an answer. Now the HTML response will be this. We will still have to parse the HTML that comes out of it. That's the part that I haven't done yet at all. Now the question is, having all of this string as a search path, if I look for article, how many are there? Just one. Okay. So I guess I can really split by article, remove all of the tags. And I should be good to go. So let's see here. Let's store this one as a tmp.html. Write a new method called parse answer HTML. Return HTML split article 0 split slash article 0. Replace new lines with spaces. And then we're going to do a lot of RE subs. So text equals HTML. Text equals text.split. And then we just do this a couple of times. I do think that RE sub is one of those methods that I always get the signature for wrong. So we have pattern, replace. So this one would be a non-greedy star. We replace it with an empty, and what we put in is text. I think that's right. And what we still want to do is to have everything that's more than one space replaced by one space. I actually think we don't need, nah, we probably do because it's not global. Okay, now I'm pretty sure that Python does not have the replace all method. Yes, it's just replace. This always bugs me about JavaScript that sometimes you have to call replace, sometimes you have to call replace all. Otherwise, it's just going to do a single replacement. I want to test this. So let's do parse answer HTML open tmp.html.read return HTML, and by HTML I mean text, but previously we need to print the text. Let's see how this works. That's not the right answer. Okay. That's pretty cool. I think we do want to also remove the strip spaces? No. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay, pretty cool. You guessed something. Return to something something. That's not the right answer. Your answer is too low. If you're stuck. Okay, so I have the text, which is the parse answer HTML of the HTML. If text contains, no, this is in Python, you say too low. In text, print too low. Too high. In text, print too high. And I do think I want to split the text by the opening parentheses. And this way I will make sure that if my guess was too high or too low, then it will not give us that as an answer. And then correct equals true. Well, how does the whole answer with the weighting work? Um, Wait, what if I put in the same answer again? Okay. Uh, Too recently, you have to wait. Um, hmm. Okay, so correct equals true. If too low in text, then correct is false. If too high in text, then correct is also false. I do want to say text equals text dot split opening parentheses 0. Um, if wait in text, please wait. And now this is the $1 million question. How do we get the time out of this? Let's say um, get wait time from text, return text split 0 for left to wait. I mean, left is only here once, so let's just split it for left. And then we split it for space and give the first. No, the last. Yes, okay. Please wait, get wait time for text. Cool. So we have too high, too low, and then we also have wait in text. And I think sometimes it's just not gonna get you anything. Um, Not the right answer is probably how we would determine if there's just anything wrong with it. Okay, so we have please wait, we have too high, too low, not correct, and otherwise it's just correct. I think we do want to log these answers. This is a way easier way than to do like database or table. Um, Answers.log. And I think we'll just do a log method. We have log answer and then we say low. Now for the wait, I don't think we want to log anything. And here, I think we want to log wrong, correct. Now for log, answer and result. let's just do with open log file. And I think there's the append mode, right? Right. Um, answer colon result. And then a new line. Let's see if this does what I think it should do. So this one we pretty much solved. I guess I have an empty main method, so I wouldn't have had to do this anyway. Um, let's just log 1 is wrong and 2 is right. Let's see what this does. Should create answers.log with 1 wrong, 2 correct. I guess we could do a little bit of syntactic sugar and add like a timestamp to it. Why not? And we should also wrap this in a string because why not? Why not? Okay. Date time now from date time or datetime dot ISO format. Just a little bit nicer. Yep. Cool. And I think we do want to do the option to just log single messages. Log line string and here we just remove this and instead put in the text because this way we'll have the flexibility to do a single line later. Not sure if we're going to need it, but why not? Still have to, of course, parse these as string. I think I want to write down like when you pulled the question for the first time, you know, why not? Why not? Okay. Um, so why can I not do this? Because apparently everything needs a command in it. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay, so we have the submission. We have detecting if the answer was correct or not. If it was not correct, then we're done here. If it was correct, then what we have to do is to write out the new part because we just increased it by 1. So the shared config part plus equals 1. This is concerning. Ah. Um, right. Directory return. So this should give us a way to figure out if we're in a year or a day directory. Return shared config dot directory type equal to day. Print this is not an AOC day directory. So now we pretty much know that this is definitely How do I cast this? Okay. Yeah, not beautiful, but it works. And now we write metafile, which means that we have to start doing this. Um, we have if is data directory. No, no. We should just write everything that we have except for the cookie. So with open meta file, which is called config file, of course, append sf f write dear arrow string shared config dot day. And by day I mean directory type. And before we do this, we should check if the directory type is not nil. And then we just add a new line. And we do this for all of the 4 config variables. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got directory type, then we have here, then we have day, and lastly we have part. Now these are not strings. None of these are strings. They're all integers. And of course they have different names. So we have dear, year, day, and part. And A is actually not the right thing here. I mean, maybe it is. Can I just test this? What happens if I execute these 2 lines with a read config in the start? If shared config is not returned. Okay, what happens? It should be part 2. Why are you not part 2? No secret file present. Well, you're right about that. So let's write a secret file. And this will have the curl cookie in it, this entire thing. Oh, what's RU? Do we need RU? Oh, that's intriguing. Cannot concatenate string to int. Well, that makes a lot of sense actually. Um, hmm. I want to write a method that returns an optional int from an optional string. Let's do that. O int text. If text is none, return none. Return int text. And that is true for all of these. No. Yes. No. This should just be int, because if this is none, we should throw an error because it's a wrongly formed file. But these 2 should have the wrapper around it. So we call this O int. Let's try again. Okay. Are you part 2 now? Yes, you are. That's amazing. Cool. So if this works, then that should also work. And we should check if the part is correct, I guess. If not, it should be either 1 or 2. Print something and return something. Yeah, this is really annoying because uh, equals day and shared config part is not none. Now it still doesn't like it because I cannot remember. How do we cast this as an int? Maybe like this? No. Oh, cancel. Whoops. Not sure what I did there. Python cast optional to int. Yeah, I really have to say part here and write a variable which says part equals 0 if shared config part is none, else shared config part. That is unfortunate, but this is how it's gonna go. You can only solve 2 puzzles, 1 and 2. Cool. So now we have the... Ooh, what just happened to my music? Now we have the solving part of it pretty much all done. What I do want to do is to give you the option to create these year and day directories. Just like the other CLI I've been using did. And that should be pretty simple. The only added bonus thing I want to do is to give you the option to do a automatic git ignore of the secret files. Good progress. 200 lines of code so far. We also need to make sure that well, let's write a to-do list. So we have validate requirements, curl, pandoc. We have create directories for day and year. We have download input and download puzzle. And we have write secret file into git ignore. Okay. That's getting there. This is a markdown file. Coolio. Give me 1 minute and then we will continue. While getting a drink, I realized that I am missing one important puzzle piece, and that is I already forgot. Wait. Hmm. Well, I'll take another sip. I'll remember. No, it's gone. What else? There's one important thing that I'm missing in this list. Yeah, it's gone. I mean, I guess there's a login command. Um. Oh, yes, yes, yes. There's an install command because this script, I shouldn't run it with Python main. I should run it with AOC. Ain't that right? Um, well, let's take it from there. Why not go through it one by one? So, check requirements. And I think the easiest way to do it is to do a which with subprocess. So we'll take this, call it which, and call it CMD, subprocess open, which string is this gonna... Nah, it's gonna be fine. std out, std error, shall, yada yada yada, result equals, communicate, return result equals to empty string. Let's see if this works. If not, which curl return print, oh no, return false, print please install curl with root install curl. And the same is true for pandoc, but I actually don't think you can install pandoc with curl. Maybe petnock. Yeah, you can. Okay. So let's add pandoc to this workspace dictionary. While we're at it, return true. If not, check requirements, return false. Amazing. Okay. I think we want to check if which does its job. Which JQ, JQQQ. Ah, yeah. I don't think I have JQQQQ installed. So maybe it's gonna be a new line character. No. Well, maybe I need to do zero decode first because I'm a genius. Ah, just give me the damn result already. Built-in function print. Okay. Um, well, why does this look like an empty string to me? Hmm. Maybe I don't want to decode it. It's the it's an empty string. So if I decode it, it should not be an empty string. I'm extremely confused. Ah, maybe it's because I never add the CMD here. Okay, now it works. Why is there a new line? Well, nobody knows, but it's not important. Yes. Okay. Awesome. So now we're checking the requirements before doing anything. So everybody's gonna have curl and pandoc installed. Um, for CMD in curl pandoc. If not, which CMD? Please install CMD with brew install CMD. This is a little bit more beautiful and shorter. Cool. Um, Xurl is a program I do not have installed. Okay, awesome. So this is good. Check. Next, create directories for day and year. So the way the old script actually worked is that it did not create a directory for the year, but it only created a directory for the day. And I think I want to handle it the same way. We can take a quick look at the advent of code script I wrote, which is called next, which we will be using one-to-one to do exactly the same thing I used to do with it. Also follow me to see my tweets about advent of code every single day. Hmm. I will call it with a two-digit number, 02. I think if you call Python, I guess now I don't have to do Python 3 anymore. With a 0 that's leading, it's still going to just give you the number, which is perfect for this use case because I do want to standardize this. I don't think we need to do this entire like two number thing anymore for this thing because that's kind of stupid. Okay. Um, so I'll just call it with a number with -d, which should create a new directory for the day. Um, if not, check requirements, return false. I guess read config will be done in a different place now. Right here. Well, no, that's not quite true. That is not quite true because now all I'm going to check is if the command that we're running is called -d, and if it is, then we have to read the directory and it has to be year folder. os.args. What is argv in Python? Isn't it os.argv? It's sys, system, sys. If sys argv minus 2 equals minus d, return new day directory def, new day directory for a day string. Day equals integer for day string. And we'll give it sysargv minus 1. If not, read config return. And if is day directory, return as well, but print this is not a year directory. Year equals shared config dot year. Well, it's not even important. Well, it is important actually. Write meta file is going to have a config, which is going to be none. And shared config is just the default value for it. Config equals config if config is not none, else it's shared config. Amazing. Okay. And now we will create a new config. Well, first of all, we're going to create a directory. Os path create make direct. Oh my god. Python create directory. No, directory. Make d. And we're going to call it a O2D for the day. And we're going to do os change path code. How do we get the current working directory? Okay, os.set cvd should be set. Oh my god. Oh, it's changed here. Of course. Okay. This thing. And then later, once we're done, we're gonna go back. New config, or just config because it's just not a shared config, equals config. Config dir type equals day. Config.year equals year. Config.day equals day. And config.part equals 1. Write meta file for this config. And all of this should be in a try. Except so that we can say print failed to create day directory. What else is going to happen then? Um, we're gonna have the not just the meta file, but also the number. Download puzzle and input, probably. Yes. Um, yeah, this is still to do. It's a bit annoying that we have a different global config now than the one inside of this folder, but I think we can work with that because um, we can just all make all of these methods that are called inside of there except an optional config parameter. Okay, and this thing has been going for a while, but we're making some very good progress. I want to test this now. I want to see if I create a new temp directory, not file. Thank you very much. And inside this temp directory, we have a meta file, which will be not day, but root. And we are in this year. Then can we now create a new, can we now create a new directory? Let's see. Let's see indeed. cd tmp python /main.py day 2. That's looking pretty good to me. I like that. Okay. Um, Now the real question is, why is it not giving me the, oh, because we do have a secret here. Okay, awesome. Um, yeah, that's great. I think we should actually set the uh, cookie on the new config that we create if we want to pass it down to download the puzzle and everything. So let's do that. Config.cookie equals cookie. Coolio. I think that marks one more to do complete. Oh, year. Well, okay. We're like almost there. Um, Year is, I think, minus y, right? Let's check. Why is it an uppercase y? I really don't like that. Oh, oh no. It's a minus, lowercase y. Yep. Okay. Return new year directory. And the new year directory does not need a config even. All we have to do is to create a new config where we set the type to root. We have a year, no part, no cookie, no nothing, and we write the meta file. And we don't even have to change directories or anything. Oh, I did say I do want to log. Well, I guess we do that when we download the puzzle. Amazing. Okay, now we can create a year and a day. Next up, download the input. Well, that should be easy as hell because all we have to do is print, well, download input in the download puzzle, also with the config. So here we will now do a curl. Okay, with open input write as file. We do f.write curl off advent of code 2022 day 1 input. Oh, let's just write the input endpoint again as a variable. The endpoint variable will be this thing without 2 quotation marks. And then we will put in the year and the date. Config year and config day. What is the problem with this? We have not specified that config is of type type config. This should work. Yeah. Anyway, this is not the most beautiful way to annotate types, but I'm going to do it this way now. Save some time. We got year and day. We write the endpoint method equals get, and we should do a optional. Cool. Data cookie? Wait, what? What's wrong with this? Well, it will always have cookie. It will not always. It will always have a cookie. I think now we don't have any errors anymore. Yes, okay. So, what's next? New data directory, we'll download the puzzle, we'll download the input, we'll get the input endpoint, and do a get, and write it to this file. Will this work? I don't know. Let's try it out. We still have the temp directory? We do. So if I now go here and create directory number 2, we should now have an input here. Move permanently. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Well, curl should always follow redirects. What do we have now? Puzzle inputs differ by user. Please log in to get your puzzle input. Well, I did that. I did in fact log in. That is unfortunate. The cookie should definitely be enough. So now it's just seeing empty cookie. Why is that? Did I mess up storing the cookie in the newly created temporary config? Let's see. Yes. No. I mean, kinda. Cookie equals config.cookie. Oh, I forgot a comma. Huh. That hasn't happened in a while. Okay. I'm 80% sure it's not going to work. It did not work. Cool. This cookie is set by shared config cookie, and it is reading the config, and the read config does set the cookie accordingly. So why would it not work? Let's print the entire command that we want to do. Um, Before we actually execute it. Print cmd. Curl follow get cookie no data. Looks good to me. I think it's losing the cookie if we do -l. We should not be doing HTTP. We should really be doing HTTPS. I'm not sure if that's going to help much. It does. Okay, that's all that was missing. Okay, that's pretty neat. So now we can download the input. All that's left then is to download the puzzle, which is going to be a hell more of an effort. um, the challenge now is to convert HTML to Markdown with Pandoc, which I have not done maybe ever, at least for a very long time. Um, Before we do this, maybe we could just... I really do want to download the puzzle. Okay, let's work on downloading the puzzle. The puzzle is downloaded by going to the same URL without the input. Let's do this up here. I have to sneeze. I have to sneeze. I can't sneeze. Okay. So let's remove this. I think that is actually how it works, right? Yes. Now we save it not as input, but as puzzle tmp HTML. And let's see if this works, I guess. Oh, we should definitely remove the print from the curl. Nobody needs that anymore. Curl print. Nope, that was the wrong line. Okay, so now let's turn this into Markdown. Pandoc HTML to Markdown. What is -s -r? What is standalone? Um, Converting a web page to Markdown. That does sound pretty much what we want to do. Why would it do -r? I'm gonna have to read the man page for Pandoc one day. Minus R format. Mm. Specify input format. Mm. Minus R format. Def Pandoc. From file to file. Pandoc minus R HTML from file to file. Standalone. I guess it's this way. From to sure pipe def null. I'm actually gonna ignore the answer. And store it into an underscore. Um, mm, 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 mm. Let's see if I can do something with this. I'm gonna put this file into number.md, and the number is config.date. I mean, I should really go into this folder and then do pandoc minus s minus r html dot tmp dot tmp dot markdown first manually to see what it will look like in the end. Does not exist, yeah, because you are supposed to put it there. Minus O. This doesn't really look good. Well, let's remove everything before this. Then it looks kind of okay, doesn't it? I guess we want to remove the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I guess. Okay. Um, 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 um. Hmm. Clean up MD for this file. Def file name with read file name. Read as file lines equals read f dot read dot split lines. With open file name as f write lines. Yeah, I really don't trust right lines. um, New line dot join lines plus new line. Okay. Lines equals lines up to -6 is what we just found out. And now the last thing that's missing is to remove everything up to row main. IDX lines index of this thing. And if the index were 1, then I would want to remove one line. No, I would want to remove 2 lines. So we do +1. And we say, let's remove IDX from the start. I think this should work. Let's give it a spin. Oh, I forgot the -O that I had to add to the pan doc. Yes. Okay, let's try. No, I want to execute the main file. Let's see if this worked. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. It's a little bit concerning that there's no empty line at the start. I think I botched up the +1 part. Um, so let's remove the +1. Yes. And let's see if it's a little bit better now. No, wait, what? Why is there no empty line here? Okay. Anyway, there was an empty line in my head, but I guess I made it up. So now we can download as Markdown. We still want to remove all of these because they're really annoying. What does that look like in Markdown? We can definitely work with that. We can just do a filter in our cleanup method. Lines equals list of map of lines with lambda L to L dot replace with nothing. And then if I do these two commands again, now this should be gone. I guess we also want to remove all of these titles. The second column, your reason. What the hell is up with that? What does it look like in the original? I guess we're talking about day 2 here. I think all of these titles should just be gone. Why? That's a neat little trick, but we don't need that. I think we have to get a bit more creative here because we have to do a regex replace with the capture group because we also want to remove the open and closing bracket. So let's do remove titles for line return re sub opening parentheses, closing parentheses, anything non-greedy, and then we have these two with title equals. And then anything. Title equals anything. And we will replace this with capture group number 1 in the line. So we'll do this with the same sort of map, but instead of doing a lambda here, we can just call remove lines title. I'm really quite unsure if the capture group replacement with the \1 works. So let's try. Import re re.sub dot with \1 of ABC. We wanted to a comma after every single character. Yeah, not working. Not working either. Python re sub capture group. I guess it's supposed to be 2 backslashes, huh? Yes. Cool. So now we should be able to remove titles. Let's see if this worked out as expected. Apparently not. Failed to create data directory. Well, what's up with that? Failed to create data directory. Well, good time to take a minute break. I'll be right back. You're definitely right about that. EECUH. This is not how any of this is supposed to be programmed. Unfortunately, I'm pretty new to this whole programming thing, so maybe you can help me out. Let me know how it is actually supposed to be programmed. Your help is greatly appreciated. So, something went wrong. I accepted all exceptions in the day creation. So let's do accept exception as E, print E. I do actually want to hide this to the user because it's not a good experience to show full stack traces. Um, Invalid group reference at point 1. I forgot the parentheses, I guess. I did forget the parentheses. Okay, now it should be working. Yes, and now it should have a full cleaned up file without any more titles in it. The second column, suddenly the alpha is called away. That looks like it's wrongly formatted, but I think this puzzle had a bit of a, yeah, a bit of a weird shape. Now the question is, would the previous script I've been using print out the answer part like this? I think it would actually. I think it would. I'm very happy with this. Let's leave it at that. So we can now download the puzzle. We can download the input. We don't have login yet. Let's write that. Actually, you know what? I think this is good enough now um to participate in the challenge. We have everything we need. All that's missing is to call the solve command with a flag from the command line, and then we should be good to go. Um, so how about we add that here, and then we call it a day. I mean, in 4.5 hours, uh I will be doing the new puzzle, and I'll be using this. I can create a new directory for the new day. I can use my next script that I wrote before. It's even a bit shorter and simpler now. Um, and that's pretty cool, if you ask me. So now, what we should do is print the usage instruction. That's perfect, and we should figure out if the user wants to submit an answer. I think we just call that one solve. Nope. We call it answer. Nope. We call it submit. Um, and now I'll be able to play. I'll have to make sure to not open my personal private puzzle whatever thing. Um, I guess you could put it in your home directory actually, because it's gonna go all the way back through your entire file path. Um, Wait, let me just double check if this is the way you were supposed to use the submit method. Yeah, I think it is. So why not call it here? Um, I will do a manual alias for now. Let's create a readme here. Let's also create a git ignore because we just created a pyenv folder. Yes, okay. And also let's not submit the GMP folder or any AOC secret files. Cool. I do want to remove the curl.txt as well because that's just for testing. And I guess it has my session cookie in it as well. And tmp.html we also don't need. Okay. AOC CLI inspired using same commands as Apex Atoll. Gimme this. Okay. What I wanted to do just now is to give me like the alias. So alias AOC equals what? Deactivate which Python 3. And then I guess I want to print the absolute path for this. Okay, I think if I do this for the puzzle later today, I should be able to use the command. Index is out of range. Amazing. Just gonna add a little shorthand here, and then I'm gonna do larc, or just larc like this. Arc. larc should be greater than 2. Well, I guess it only has to be greater than 1, because that means there's gonna be at least 2. Okay. Yes. Okay. Cool. I think we're good. I'll usage. I'll submit this, and then we're good to go. Git add whip edit input download and submission. Amazing. Oh yeah, I guess we should do this. Okay. We are. You can start using this. I will be using it tonight. We're almost done. I guess we can remove the to-do MD and instead put it into the README itself so people can see it on GitHub directly. Move to-do. Okay. So these are the only ones missing. The only thing that's left is to log out so that you guys cannot steal my token. And also, yeah, no, I mean, that's everything. Thanks for not watching and following along and using this, maybe, hopefully. I'll probably put this on YouTube and then link the whole stream VOD in this README file, because why the hell not? And I really like having this public accountability for writing code. Um, yeah, I mean, it's getting there. I only have like error prints now, and you could actually use this. Like, there's no, there's no like big missing pieces. The only thing you'd have to manually do for now is to write the little secret file, and we'll add a command for that, and that'll be everything. Well, I hope you have a good rest of your Saturday, and I'll talk to you in about 4 hours.